It's America. It's cars, freedom, and guns.
Yes, if there's one thing we love, it's fucking guns, dude. Okay, like, I'm not even kidding. Literally everybody's response to any sort of invasion is, we have like 30 million gun owners, we ain't scared.
Yeah, if anything happens, we'll just go to Boris down the road. He's got 45 of them.
Yeah, okay, now funny story about this. This is actually incredibly relevant for the first time in my life. My best friend growing up had a grandpa who was a Class 3 dealer in the United States. That means he gets to sell explosives, fully automatics, you know, the works. Like literally anything that goes boom that you want. This dude had it. Okay, his basement was loaded with all kinds of dangerously fun objects, to the point where the local fire department was advised to evacuate the area should it catch fire. They're like, don't even bother trying to put it out, just get the fuck out.
Yeah, just leave.
Like, oh, that right there sums up America. If anybody doesn't believe the stereotype, no, it's legit.
See, here we have the same thing. Like, we have super strict gun laws as well, all because of what happened down in the Port Phillip Bay massacre. Which, I mean, over in the US, you guys have it. You know, you guys have had tons worse than that. But it only took one thing for us to go, well, pretty much, nope, that's not going to happen. And now, like, the licensing that you have to go through, testing to actually even just fire a gun is crazy. Let alone owning one is a whole nother story. It's just, yeah. I've shot 2 guns in my life. One was a double barrel back when I was maybe 16 as part of a school program, and yeah, it was just clay target shooting, nothing fancy. It was all controlled, the whole lot. And then the other one I shot was a Colt 45. So basically what the cops use here. I've shot one of those before, and that's it. Like, that was what, 2 clips or 2, whatever you call it, magazines, or it was about 20 bullets or something.
Yeah, that would be a magazine.
If someone ever handed me a gun, the people behind me should be worried.
Damn, dude. The first gun I shot was a Russian-made Mosin Nagant, which I bought for about 120 US dollars, so like about 150 for you guys. So ridiculously cheap. And I went out, bought a box of bullets, $1 a bullet. Oh, that Honda wants to race. I got shit to do. And I was a pretty damn good shot for my very first time shooting a gun. I bullseyed freestanding at about 100 about 100 yards. So just shy of 100 meters.
Yeah, no, the second magazine that I went through was better, definitely a lot better. But the funny thing was, the guy at the shooting range basically said, yeah, there's your gun, hold it like this, and away you go. So, you know, it was basically just have a go and see what happens. But it was all chained to the range, so you couldn't turn it very far side to side or up and down. It was all joined, so it was safe. It was just, yeah, he just sort of didn't say anything to me about it. He just sort of said, off you go. Yeah.
Wow. Is it just the fact that it's chained up like that? That kind of blows me away. Like,
yeah. It's I mean, it's pretty much just someone walking off the street saying, I want to shoot a gun. So yeah, so it's safe in that term. But yeah, you guys can basically go to the shop and buy one. And
it is. It's a total cultural difference, because here in America, you can buy a rifle or a shotgun wherever you want, whenever you want, pretty much with little to no questioning. But the big thing is handguns here. But here, handguns are a real big deal. If you want to buy a handgun, they ask you for your arm, leg, firstborn child, and pretty much everything that they can get about you.
Is that mainly because of concealment issues? Like obviously with a big shotgun or a rifle or whatever, you can't really hide that as such. Whereas obviously with a pistol, you can put it under your jacket or wherever.
Yes, and that is the main issue there. In most states that I'm aware of, there's not a law that says you can open carry, but there's not a law that says you can't. So it's pretty much like, fucking try me, mate.
just whatever goes, and
like the state that I'm from is Michigan, and in Michigan it's like that, where there's no law explicitly stating that you can do it, but there's no law that says you can't do it. So the police are kind of like, just don't be a dickhead about it and you're good.
As long as it's just that grey area, kind of like what the lane splitting is over there, now that it's actually allowed. It was never not allowed, but it was never allowed. It was just a thing.
Yes, and they're working on a law to say and define when and where and how motorcyclists can do that. But essentially the only law pertaining to it at the moment is cars can't prevent you from doing it.
Yeah, they can't
because
cut in front of you or pull in front of you.
They can't like door you or anything, because that's reckless driving, that's reckless endangerment, that's attempted vehicular manslaughter.
And of course if they go out of their lane, then that's a whole issue as well.
Exactly. So basically they can't prevent us from doing it, but there's no law that explicitly says what I can and can't do. Basically the only thing is if I don't cross the yellow line, then I'm fine.
Yeah, as long as you stay within the road, you're all good. Yeah.
Because I'm still in my lane, I haven't done anything technically illegal, so they really can't get me on anything unless they want to claim that what I did was unsafe and reckless. Then they can say that what I did was reckless endangerment of other drivers.
But they've got to be able to prove it too. They got to basically say this person was there, you were going to hit them or something.
Yes, they really have to be able to prove it, so it's up to officers' discretion, but for the most part they just don't dick with it.
Yeah, as long as you're not a dickhead about it, then you're all good.
Yeah, I mean, if you overtake like 7 cars at 100 in a 45 zone, you bet your ass you're getting pulled over.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you're overtaking a line of cars at 50 in a 45 because you're just doing 5 over to stay out of people's blind spots, most of the cops know what you're doing and they're just gonna kind of let it happen.
And I'm sure that most of them would understand that it's safer for you to do that, to go a little bit faster and get through traffic, than someone ram you up the arse and smash you between 2 cars, basically.
Absolutely, and because we have a large majority of motorcycle riding police out here, they'll understand.
They get it, yeah. And you have a lot of bikes too, just in general. Like, your percentage of bikes on the road is a lot bigger than what we have here as well.
Yes,
so
we do.
People are watching out for them, where most of the time here motorcycle accidents are caused by drivers not paying attention to what's around them. They're not noticing bikes. They're not looking for them. We have a massive campaign at the moment on TV and radio and everything by Vic Roads, which is our safety authority road thing. And it's all about thinking about cars, riders thinking about cars, and cars also thinking about riders. It's a both-way street. They don't, it's not just bikes take care of yourself. It's actually trying to make car drivers aware that there is bikes out there, and they take up as much of the road as what a car does in terms of safety. They need just as much room.
Right. Because we swerve all over our lanes all the time. We're not just riding in one position.
Yeah, we have to dodge things, we have to avoid things, and even emergencies, we got to have that room to move. It's not so bad here in the country where I am, which is about 2 hours north of Melbourne. It's not so bad here because there's not as many cars. Most of the time, the traffic's not that bad. They can see what's going on. They know what's happening around them. It's more in the city in traffic where they're pulling into lanes because they think it's an empty spot. when clearly it's not. And there's a bike sitting.
Oh man, that's cheap.
We went through the city to the superbikes a couple of weekends ago, and the amount of cars that were just, luckily enough, they put on their blinker first, their indicator first, to make sure they, you know, before they moved, and then they turned their head, and sure enough, there's a bike sitting there. It happened probably 3 or 4 times in a matter of 2 hours for us, which is...
Wow, that's insane.
Especially when there's 2 or 3 of us, you can clearly see from a long distance away, you can see that there's 3 bikes, and they still do it. Or they'll try and cut in front of you, or... yeah, it happens all the time.
Man, that's like the rest of the United States, like the areas where we get snow in the winter, because they're just not paying attention for half of the year. Whereas out in California, where there's bikes all year round, it's so much nicer out here because the cars are just used to it. They're always looking, they're always checking. And not to say that some cars don't cut you off and aren't paying attention, but for the most part, they're looking and they actually get out of your way to let you split. It's miraculous. Like on the freeways, they'll...
And yeah, you actually see people move out of the way for bikes, which is incredible. That's awesome.
Quite literally, it's like the Red Sea, man. It's... I feel like freaking Moses with my staff holding it up like... Ah! And the cars are just... I mean, when I first got out here, I couldn't believe that what I was doing was actually okay and I wasn't going to get a ticket for it.
Actually, on a good note, that just happened then. I just hit some roadworks. And the guy actually waited for me to go past rather than pulling out in front of me. It literally just happened as we're talking about it.
Hey, you smart driver.
Yeah, we moved into one lane and he actually waited. He actually pretty much stopped and waited for me to go past. Yep. Yeah. It happens a bit here. As I said, in the country it's not as bad. It's more in the city that it's really bad.
Right. Okay. Well.
One thing we do have to touch on there, Mr. Ducky, is our distance.
Oh yes, we did want to mention that. It was 7,000 and some odd miles, or
13,000 kilometers for you guys in the newer metric system.
Oh, that's a turn arrow. Another 15. God dang it. What are you doing? You edging up on me, woman?